expertise is going to need to be shared, new skills acquired. And by the way, I'm only so far talking about the replacement age. That's the age in which we are replacing human tasks with AI.
Absolutely limitless and endless. So we can see here, like with all the brands present here today, that the technology is actually a backbone for almost every area of activity. So we can see here like banks, we can see here the actual tech companies, we can see here fashion, beauty, everything's represented. So you can actually be in tech and be in the area that's closest to your heart.
I think one of the greatest opportunities that I think that I try and promote is like the inclusivity in the product that we're developing now. So obviously I have a very huge focus in product ownership and product development. So you want to make sure that the products that you're making for clients and users are as inclusive as they can. And right now, like a lot of products on the market, especially legacy ones, have been from like that very male focused like lens, and now that more women are getting into tech and I can be involved in that, we can widen that lens to also include women, people of color, etc.
We've had so many inspiring stories over the last couple of days, but lots of opportunity in the future. The key one is the opportunity to create value by blending all these new emerging technologies, which includes AI, with the sort of creativity and the judgment of people as well. So that's quite exciting and almost sort of opening up to embrace that change. Also, there's been lots of inspiring stories about unleashing people's potential and providing a really supportive environment so that we can all grow as individuals and as teams and businesses, and busting some of those myths and limiting beliefs and that kind of thing. And I've just attended a really good session on data and looking at data not just from a technology perspective, but using data across the business and how we can really use data, harness data. We can all learn about it, whether we're at the start of our data journey or later on, to really understand our business and better, and to make better, more informed, data-driven decisions.
So how does Vistair support me? I mean, how doesn't it, in fact? So for this last year that I've, since I joined Vistair, I haven't felt anything but empowered, encouraged to actually, seize the moment, grasp this opportunity. So I'm very grateful. Being here is one of the proofs for that.
So the culture within Vistair is very inclusive, so there's opportunities for everyone to progress at different levels. Also the partnerships that we have with Alter Motherboard really promote that awareness to get women into technology, and I feel like Vistair is very behind that messaging in the corporate sense. There's also a lot of mentoring internally to sort of like get you to where you want to be, and it's a very inclusive organisation despite the fact that it's a tech company, aviation as well. Both of those are not promoted for women, but I feel like Vistair breaks those barriers and is very much supportive of me in my career.
I think Vistair is really supportive in terms of supporting people's career progression for both women and everyone in the wider team. There's a really open culture, so we're clear on the strategy of the business and how the business is growing forward, and being able to identify future opportunities. There's lots of emphasis on training and continual learning as well, which I think for me personally is really, really important, and also very supportive in terms of coaching and mentoring as well, to make sure that people have access to speak to people with different experiences along the way. I also really appreciate the fact we're working as a mum of two young boys, and the ability to kind of factor that in with continuing to develop my career as well. The key takeaways for me for this event is that we're in the midst of a technical evolution with so much emerging technology that we can take advantage of, but that also means a cultural revolution as well, and adapting our working practices and opening our minds to doing things in new ways, looking at the tech from a how perspective as opposed to just answering the what. So that was really interesting for me. The other aspect is consciously embracing change, being open to new technological ideas, but also being open to diverse views and making sure that we're fully supporting views from across the team so that we can make the best decisions.
So I think my key takeaway is to continue to use the human skills and make sure that human skills are still built into a product. So obviously a huge topic at this conference has been AI and how do we implement or introduce AI into our business strategies and our business products. But it's also using AI but not 100% relying on AI. So making sure that there is still the human element and human lens to the product.
So my takeaways from the conference are not only from a technical aspect, which very much puts artificial intelligence at the forefront of the future of technology, but also something that I didn't expect was speaking and listening to some inspiring women, so both in the workshops, in the talks and conferences that have been held, and it really makes you realise that actually progress isn't linear and you can create your own journey by seizing every opportunity, putting yourself out there, and really striving to be better.
So my main takeaway from the conference, I think, is just seeing how women can get to tech in so many different other areas, and how people ended up in leadership roles that weren't necessarily intending to get there. And that's been really interesting and really inspiring, seeing people coming from all sorts of different backgrounds, which resonates with me, not coming from a technical background, and how almost anyone can get to tech because so many roles are not necessarily developing or coding or technical, but organising, people skills. That's it.
Yes, hi. This is my first ever event for women in tech and for professional women in general, and I think what's value that I see that it's women manage to kind of build this great support system, which supports the career, supports women, acknowledging all the, let's say, challenges, sometimes difficulties women can have in life, when pursuing careers, which are still they want them to be very fulfilling. And that's the thing, and I think men should also do that. So they should also build their own support system. The other thing that resonated, apart from basically the emerging technologies like AI, which are spoken about nearly in every session, is that what are the skills that are actually going to be needed in the future? That's what's the forecast for that? And things like empathy, collaboration, connection. These kind of things, I believe I have them, which sounds very encouraging for me personally. So yes, it was very worthwhile.